What is going on, everybody? It is Craig. And you know what? I was talking to a couple of my buddies. My buddy Phil, he said, hey, you should, do another room tour. You haven't done one in a little bit. And I have moved some stuff around, so we're just doing the room behind that door. You can see some of the things on the outside, but that's not the focus. A little love to Jaws. And this was just a random Halloween decoration that I put up a long time ago that I like, so I kept it up. And here we go. Okay, I guess we'll start light to the side. A little dusty, I apologize. Let's see, we have McFarlane Puppetmaster. That's just a Lego knife, not signed by anybody. Maybe my most expensive collectible, one of my master's degrees. We have this figure, I've mentioned in a previous video, Jessica Fletcher. This was my first horror show I was into. I watched this with my grandma, my mom, and I'll still watch it this day on Hallmark at like 2, 3 in the morning. As we go down, this is right here probably one of, if not my favorite autograph, definitely my favorite single-signed autograph. Jill Sholin to Craig. I didn't tell you my name. Oh, it was so good. It was so nice to meet her. We got a little, where's that from? That little, I forget the company that used to do those things. Last something maybe? I don't know. If it comes to me, it'll come to me. This is one of my first sort of fancier busts, if you will. Got it from somebody on Etsy. We got a Quinn Rod signed Sam Lollipop. Jason mask, not signed by who you might think. That's Larry's owner. Shelley gave Jason his hockey mask from part 3. Real Cryptocurium love. There's more of that just, in here, but not in one section, just kind of all over the place. Down here we have the mask, my buddy Valentine, a Ludo that, my friend gave it to me for Christmas, so I have to have it out. And then down here is one of my probably only solo open pops. I actually only have about 3 pops, period. And that is Jensen Ackles, and obviously I did love the show Supernatural, but it's also up there because Jensen Ackles played the Peter Comfort character in the remake. So, the original is better, but I do enjoy the remake. Let's go over here. We have a nice vacuum form mask from Maniac. I actually like this better than some of the masks I've seen. We have a Creep signed by Mark Duplass. We have a figure from Creep, which was done by Last Chance Customs, which is phenomenal. I love Brian's work. And I have a tape signed by Mark Duplass too, which has Craig the Professor. This is such a cool item. Why the Mythic, I love you. I buy from you all the time. But why didn't you just have it signed on the label? Why didn't you put a label on it? On the outside of the box, it does not have the same mystique. I've actually debated getting a tape, cutting that part off, putting it on. We'll see if I ever do that. Let me close the door so you can see what's on it. My only one sheet in here, and this was a gift from my boy Darren Mitchell, Horror in Me, Burning, which I love Cropsy. I don't love the movie, but I love Cropsy. So, and you'll see more Cropsy later. We have a Bagul from Evil Entities, and we have the autograph by Nick King, and we have a regular cross. There was nothing demonic there. That is just my cross that I had on my room when I was a child, and it's still up in here. Well, not in here. It moved a few places. Now we'll get to some more masks. Death Studio, Gargoyle. That thing is so freaking sick. Here we have DWN Productions, and that is Humanoids from the Deep. And down here we have a mask that is, I just love this. It's one of Distortion's Masks of the Month. And I'm not going to tell you the backstory behind it right now, but I definitely like the idea of the little guys and the big head. Like, I've used that metaphor before. Continuing down, you also have a Humanoids from the Deep right there. Figure from, I think, AMOC. Homemade Horror, very cool, from Tremors, the Graboid. This is a right that I will put on my room every now and then on the ceiling to vibe with a little bit. Maybe if I have something edible in there, if you get what I mean. Down here we have, I do have a lot of these things from Clay Guy, because for the longest time, where are you getting figures? Ginger Snaps, Don't Breathe, freaking Captain Howdy from Strangeland. Now some of these do have figures, but not many of them. I guess Twisty does, and Cheryl does from Distinctive Dummies, but nothing from a major company. Continuing down, we have an Annabelle, We have some more of the rest of the homemade horror. Distinctive Dummies, Night of the Lepus. I loved it. They only did these for a little while, these kind of little bust things, but I have a few of them, and I just think they're really cool. From Distinctive Dummies also, we have a Bad Taste figure. And this is just, it's a Region 2 DVD. I love the alternate title, Nightmare Vacation 2, it's their Sleepaway Camp 2. And admittedly, Pamela Springsteen is probably my second most sought after autograph, but I know it will never happen. My first one also won't happen. It's Wayne, is it Tobis? I know his first name's Wayne, the guy who plays Gunther in Funhouse. He doesn't sign at all either. I don't know why he doesn't sign. I know why Pamela doesn't sign. One, she's a famous photographer, but she also distanced herself from the movie. Down here we have a nice little Zombievas piece. And there's a lot of foreshadowing here. Me mentioning Gunther, me mentioning Zombievas, you'll see that. And then we have some more in there of the homemade horror, not homemade horror, clay guy, including Human Centipede. How cool is that? We have High Tension. We have Renee Quigley from Return of the Living Dead. Here we have Rick and Morty. I love Rick and Morty. I haven't watched it, like past the first few seasons. I didn't want to once the voice actors changed, stuff like that. We have a video store promo piece for Shaka. It goes inside of the electrical outlet. It, kind of cover it up, which is kind of cool. Nice piece from Demons 2. And I thank my boy Eric Bindle for giving me a heads up about this, because when I saw it, the dimensions was said they were in centimeters. I'm like, I'm not going to pay that for something so small. But I saw what he had, and it came like this. So I'm like, oh, shit, I got to get one. And speaking of Eric Bindle, we have several things from him in here. And that's probably the first one. What is it, a shuriken? I want to say Hadouken, but no, that's not what it's called. The Weapon from Jeepers Creepers. He made that. He also got that, gave me that too. The popcorn, Jiffy Pop. Again, big Joe Chalene fan. Let's go over this way. Oh, by the way, this is just something I did and I have done. I have lots of photos of me picking up people. There are close friends, there are exes, there are some randoms that just come up that I've known, and I'm like, sure, why not? Get the collection grow. A lot of other comic friends in there too. If you don't know, what I do for a living. I'm not a comic for a living. I'm a college professor for a living, but I do work as a comic many times during the course of the year. Here we have Dead Silence 2-pack from Distinctive Dummies. This Art the Clown piece, again, this was a gift. If my friends give me gifts, I find a place to show them off. Not necessarily stuff I would have bought myself, but homemade horror, another piece, The Shining. Awesome Rihanna made a piece. I forget who did this, but that's many years old. Signed, one of my few pops I still have, Warwick Davis Leprechaun. We have from Demon Knight, that was by Serial Co. We have a Tremor, a Graboid. Tony did this. I can't remember what Tony's company was called. If I do remember it, I'll put it down in the chat. We have a sign by Linnea Quigley and Stooge, and then we just have the regular Andrew there. I would like to get that signed one day, and then we have a random Rament configuration. Let's go down here. We have lots of little pieces from different places. We have Cryptocurium, we have Zero Resin. I also have stuff from, again, Tony. I think it's Tony's Dark Nightmare. That might be it. And I also have a bunch of stuff from Eric Bindle, Horror Man Cave. I'll point out a few of his. But again, Evil Entities in here too, with some of the busts. Very cool stuff in here. The Terror Train's a really awesome one. We have that in the background from freaking Silence of the Lambs. That's sick. I still can't believe that's Lehman Stoudemire from freaking Monk. A little bit more down here. A lot of these from Zero Resin. Again, Evil Entities, Bust. They came in mini boxes. That Wishmaster is phenomenal. Cujo. Again, Zero Resin with Little Monsters. Although I don't think it was ever formally released. So that is a rarer piece of Darren's. And then up here I have some stuff from Eric. Horror Man Cave. We have a Blob piece. You can see the skull, the skeleton he put in there. That's cool. We have the Dawn of the Dead. These here are the other two pieces from Martin. I love this, Mary Karras. It says something like, "Your mother cooks socks in hell." I forget where it is on it. It's like the way they changed it. Oh yeah, it might not be on there. It's just the meaning of it, you know, because whenever that was on TV, the Exorcist was on TV, they could not use what they really said, which was, well, sucks cocks in hell, but, you know, I'm not monetized, doesn't matter. And then Frogs, which admittedly is, I remember having the big clamshell VHS of Frogs, so that is very, very cool. Let us continue a little bit. We have signed Halloween 3. You know, you have Tom Atkins, Tommy Lee Wallace, and Stacy, I forget her last name. More love for my boy over at Last Chance Customs, Brian. He made me this Black Christmas piece. Black Christmas is one of my favorite movies. I just realized I didn't show you anything on top of the refrigerator. I got to go back around the room eventually. Rick and Morty, Scary Terry, tourist trap figure that was also Last Chance Customs. Down here, the movie Abigail. It's not that I enjoy the movie, but it's more I love some of the actors in it. I like Mr. Blair a lot. I love Chris Duran. He was in The Strain, and she the Catherine Newton, is it? She's great. So a nice pick with a lot of quotes. I probably should have got a different color. It does look a lot better in person than it does on camera, but you know, maybe a pop, something to pop. You know, I didn't realize where they were going to sign everything with the rug there. Also from Serial Esin, a little Pinocchio, and Mary Shaw from Dead Silence, and a pin down there that is a giant ass pin from Black Cat, I believe. And then yes, I do have baseball stuff, but that's not what this tour is about. Here we go, Christmas Evil, signed by Brandon, the lead. We have the puppets from Killer Clowns. Now let's go. We're gonna step back a little bit. I just heard, in fact, you know what? I'm going to walk this way because I closed the door and I just heard one of my cats crying to get in. And you'll see this is as much of their space as it is mine. There we go. See? Yep, you come back in, buddy. So let me show you the refrigerator stuff and then I'll go back. We have a cat signed Pool Party Massacre. I also have, in the case back here, 3 of the screen-used kills, if you will, weapons from Pool Party Massacre. Really can't show them to you that well here, but maybe you can see some this way. You have the hammer, you have the one that went through the wall when the guy was in the bathroom, and I forget what the other one was. We have the hand from Talk to Me, reaching out for the bear from Jaws, and yes, we have a Maximum Overdrive. I have Black Christmas Billy from Distinctive Dummies, with a pin set that came from Scream Factory. I have a 6-shooter here. The reason 6-shooters here is because I have the other ones. In fact, I guess I will do that briefly. When I have all the other ones, he's too tall. So I got to have something. I got to have him in here. So let's get back to it. This video is going to be longer than I want it to be. But you know what? That's good. Let's have fun with it. So now let's get back over here. We have 4 masks. We have the Ogre and Xenomorph from Death Studios, and these 2 are both Distortions Resurrections. They're mounted by 20 some more copies each. Again, I definitely started getting into masks significantly more over the past few years, and I give all the credit to that to some of my boys, Steve, Jordan, Eric, etc. But down here, we have Cropsy, and we have Gunther. These are beautiful, and I know some people hate the hat. I don't always have it on, but he did have this hat on in the beginning of the movie, when he reappeared and he killed the hooker. We have the Distinctive Dummies Cropsy. We have this, if you watched my channel recently, you saw I won in a Raz. I think in total it was what? $12.50 times 3, so $37.50. And that is signed by Melinda Clark, and the figure itself is freaking sick. And the Gunther, which is probably my favorite of all my Distinctive Dummies. We also have the Jack Frost, which is right up there too. This is a screen-used tail from Zombievers, and that is a cast-signed Zombievers. It's missing one of the girls. And then down here, I just think this is cute. So I set up that way. I got Gargamel, Shorty, Nosferatu, and Xenomorph playing Q-Bert, which is my favorite old-school video game. And that actually kind of works a little bit, so that's neat. So let me keep going this way. Actually, you know what? Let me change that real quick. Just up here, I got the Puppet Masters. Eventually, I'm going to take them out of the box and put them under one of the cases. We have Hatchet. This also from Last Chance Custom. Was it Jacob Goodyear? Was that his name? I don't. Um, Jacob. I think that was it. But See No Evil. See No Evil 2 is actually one of my favorite, like, slasher movies. I don't mean that it isn't a 10 or anything, but you got Catherine Isabel, you got Danielle Harris, you got freaking an unstoppable killing machine. So that's neat. And then we have Creepshow minus Fluffy. I do have Fluffy in my closet in a box with a lot of other stuff. I keep meaning to dig in and get it out. So now let's go here. We have Give Freddy a Hug. This is my only Robin England auto. I did have some of him on some pops. I had sold them. I sold all my signed pops except like 2 or 3 of them. A Thing photo. This, I believe it has 6 people on it. What I got to do is I got to look at who's on it exactly, because I got this in a Mintix mystery box, and there's a few Thing guys at Schiller Theater coming up. So if I'm missing any, I might have to get some added onto it. And then we have a little blob piece. I didn't mention that. That's signed by Shawnee Smith and Kevin Dillon. Oh, Ghostface figure. I forget if that's the OG one or not. It's fine. And that is signed by Laurie Metcalf. And it says, "Got a little knife happy," which I think that's very cool. She worked with some church as a fundraiser thing, and I found about this in like Mystery Box Bunker many, many years ago. So let us continue. This shelf is definitely a little dusty, so don't kill me for it. I actually forgot to make my way over here before I filmed this video. We have maybe I got to move the Jason to show it to you. Another figure from Last Chance Customs. And Brian, if you ever doubted how much I like your shit, I got a lot of it displayed. Deadly Spawn, that was from Serial Resin Co., as was the Ash. Random Gremlin, Holiday Snow Globe, one of the first critters I had. I have definitely upgraded. Evil Bong. This was from Horror Man Cave. The Crystal Skull from House. One of my bobbleheads, I really do enjoy this one. We have another Rick and Morty, or another Rick. And if you see, he's holding the weapon from Slumber Party Massacre 2. And then I forget where this creature's from, but he's a Bigfoot that yanked off a dick. And then we have a Gizmo. Yeah, hello, buddy. Yeah, hello. He wants to say hello. This is Sebastian. I want you to know that my room is my space, but the cat has the bed on the couch, and this one over here, he's just taking over wherever he wants. And you see, I do give him their treats and stuff in here. But let us keep going. Tony Todd, the man, the myth, the legend. This is my first Jill Shalene auto, and my boy Stephen Barry, Stephen's Horror Craptacular, got it for me, which is awesome because I won the auto. We got a chance to meet Jill Shalene. This is in the Alamo Draft House. That bendy, I've actually been told it has some decent value. I don't know if that's true or not. Horror Man Cave, not Horror Man, Return of the Living Dead piece from the same people that did that barrel. I just can't remember who it was. And the gate. This is actually, who is this? This is some hobby. I forget his company too. I have a lot of friends that made shit back in the day. We have the They Live. I also have the other two. They Live up here as well, just to show you. We have Thanksgiving figure, which there's a theme. I have the Thanksgiving figure because I have a cast sign piece from Thanksgiving, but I also have this, which is one of my favorite pieces. It is the bullhorn. It is the bullhorn. To me, it is the weapon that caused all the shit to go down. When the guy grabbed it, go ahead, charge. This is that. So that's very cool. Continuing down, a little Twilight Zone love. I got Talking Tina. The Tingler is not Twilight Zone. The Tingler is from the Tingler, but that was a great movie back in the day. And look into what the guy did in the movie theaters when it was airing. What he did to the seats to scare people. And those two things down there, I'll point it out in case some of you are sitting there like, oh, I know what they are. I follow some of the pickers. Those are from them. There's ADH Dave and Commonwealth Picker. I also have something from American Arbitrage. But, I dig those guys. They have fun watching it. Some more Twilight Zone love. Willie. Another Tina. A Freddy glove. Another Willie. I do have from the guy from To Serve Man coming in. So I'm probably going to move the Riddle one, Jerry and Willie. And I'm going to put that right under there because it fits in the same size. Here we go. We have another mask from Death Studios. We also have another mask from DWN Productions. We have the Night Beast. This is from Horror Man Cave. We have Raging Zombies. I think this is amazing. I have such a dichotomy, if you will, maybe that's not the greatest one, but I have 3 critters, right? This is like a $8 piece from Temu, but this is a little one made by Horror Man Cave, and this is probably my favorite one, Raging Zombie Studios. I got a hell of a deal on it, thanks to my boys pointing out to me. This is signed by all the Chioda brothers. Well, boxing glove. We have Jack Frost. We have the mini guys too. I do have a full-size Chucky. I have a full-size Tiffany, and just some random baubles, and then the Bride of Chucky pendant. And then here's some more stuff from Horror Man Cave. Okay, we have some demonic toys. He did the bear, and he did Jack Attack. This baby Oopsie. This is from Full Moon Studios directly. Continuing. My last of the Twilight Zone pieces, and this is probably, if not my favorite Twilight Zone, my second favorite one, it would be either this or a game of pool, because back in the day, pool was definitely my thing. I was really good at one point. Now, not so much. So that's there. We have a signed Chuck from a lot of the originals from TCM. Obviously not gonna, but you got a lot of cool names on there. We have, listen, I love Distinctive Dummies. I absolutely do. But I bought this before this Pearl came out. This is Freaky Figures, and it's a limited one of 6. It's the only one I need. And then I have a signed photo for Mia Goth, and this is one of the promo pieces that A24 put out on their site. If you saw it, you know what the other side might look like. All decaying and stuff, because it was left out. Let us continue. We have, I love Carry Those Jason, because that's what this is to me. Rest in peace, Wallace Parker Lincoln. You know, that's actually one of my favorite Jason autos that I have. Just the photo and everything together. We have the Imp from Slimeball, Salati Babes, and Slimeball Bolama. Don't ever watch the sequel to that. It was horrendous, but I love the original, and I would love a life-size Imp. If any of you ever heard of anyone making one, let me know. And down there, we have a little Siren Night, Deadly Night piece that I actually got the first time I met Darren in person at Monster Mania back in 2017. Darren also gifted me this. This is from Tales of Halloween. I love this little guy. Trick or treat. This is the toilet from Ghoulies Go to College. This is from Chopping Mall, one of my top 5 favorite 80s movies that doesn't have a sequel. That's how I phrase that. Doesn't have a sequel. And then Cabin in the Wood, another piece from Horror Man Cave, was Serial Les & Co. in essence. We do have a Greta, full-scale Greta, which is awesome. And then just some random stuff in the cases here. You know, a little bit from a lot of different places. You know, some old school stuff from Butcher Vision with the drunk face. Oh, this is from the last checkout. This is one of the Scream used masks, which is kind of neat. I think it's, you know, I have like 6 items like that. I guess let me sit down here. Oh, and I can get you better down here. We have, again, you got, you know, little evil entities, we'll see Res & Co. And this thing, Distinctive Dummies, the car, that's phenomenal. Fluffy with Adrian Bobo's head, very cool. Again, Jeepers Creepers, shout out to my boy Eric. They had him on like sale by him, like really low. He has like the best targets in Walmart. Texas must have the best ones in the country, because I don't have sales like that in mine. He picked that up for me. He actually surprised me with it and sent in a package of other stuff I was getting from him. This is the baseball bat weapon that was used in the pool scene in Christie, which is the best, to me, the best Thanksgiving horror. That's Christie right there. It's not 3D. It's not a 3D movie, but this is the copy I did. This is a 3D copy. Just a little bit more. We have demonic toys, a lot of full moon busts and stuff in there. You can also see some Butcher Vision stuff in there too with, I forget what he called the Homer Simpson when he did that. And then we have a little bit more over here. That Angela is horrible. No offense, but it's still there. It's still a piece, a little bell. And then in there, you have Count Chocula, Blueberry, and Frankenberry, and Fruit Root. And Yummy Mummy in there too, but the evil versions of Cryptocurium. There's a lot of that's probably one of the cases I got to display, move to a different place, because there's some really unique things in there, especially some of the Simpsons characters that Butcher Vision made that came from his site. Okay, let's go down here. I do eventually got to get this framed in a normal frame, but an awesome Manfredi. You see, he worked the music on all these movies, so that's a cool piece. Here we have Morty from Tales from the Crypt Season 2, the ventriloquist dummy. And then here, going to more screen used, this is the syringe that Don Rickles used to try to keep Morty at bay. The injection, which is freaking sick. Okay, let me stand back up. Okay, more Friday the 13th. We have Steve Dash is not on this. I do have a couple of Steve Dash autos, but it does have a lot of the other people from Part 2. Here from Part 4, we have Ted White and Corey Feldman. Here we have Graham, right? CJ Graham. And Tommy, I forget his name off the top of my head. And here's from Part 5. We got a few of them. We do have Junior. We have Ethel. I know they're not. I know they're both deceased. I know one of them isn't with us anymore. We do have Dick Lyland. It's amazing. I'm looking at this. I just realized Morgan isn't on here, so I got to get that changed one day. A couple eventually figure. I love Dusk Till Dawn. You're going to see a few Dusk Till Dawn things. Here you also have from DWN Productions. Madman Mars, Evil Entities, and Madman and Evil Entities, The Grabber. And here's some Dusk Till Dawn. This is signed by Trejo. This is signed by Fred Williamson, and this is signed by Tom Savini, and this is signed by the two kids from the original Black Phone. I do have Ethan Hawke's autograph on 8x10. I'll eventually find a way to fit in. I'll probably move the Man Mars. Up here we have Larry Drake, all three of his best movies. Like I said, I am a big fan of every one of those. Dr. Giggles, Dark Knight of Scarecrow, and obviously Tales from the Crypt. Up there you have the full set of Monster Squad. You also have the autograph here for Monster Squad. I have a cast signed Happy Death Day. This is another mask from Death Studios. And let me continue my walk. I don't have a lot left. I promise you I'm not a big narcissist. That was a gift my friend had me made from a bunch of my comedy gigs. It's actually really funny now because I've had some of you make these comments on my videos, and I'll put out a video eventually explaining it, but I have lost, I don't know, over 300 pounds. So definitely different versions of me, even on there. We have Cthulhu. This is Trick or Treat. They use the Death Studios mold, but it's Trick or Treat. This is Death Studios Heavy Metal. Psycho Gorman, I think that's pretty neat. And I believe this is the first ever Pennywise figure. Back here, something I got from a Mintix backward sale. It's signed by Jonathan Breck 4 times over. I think he was probably using different paint pens and practice on it, and I got it relatively cheap. Chills Down Your Spine. Listen, if you've not seen that, find it, watch them. I'm horrible saying this, but I haven't seen the sequel yet, even though I've owned it. Actually, I'm trying to think if that is the sequel or not. Let me see. No, that is the sequel. I haven't seen the sequel. I saw the original one, but the original one was epic. My buddy told me the sequel was even better, so I'll eventually check it out. The problem is I move my DVDs around, and I don't feel like digging through boxes. And then last few things, Slumber Party Massacre, the OG, and then also Part 2. And then I think you saw the frog mask from ICU. And there you go. Speaking of ICU, the cat, he went on a little trip, and now he's going back to his spot. And just in case you care to see what's on the refrigerator, this is just some disc plate I bought a long time ago. It's up there with magnets. I just think it's cool. You got Beetlejuice and Ghostbusters combined. So, folks, I'll do one of the Phil's creepy vids, spins. Try not to fall down, etc. There you go. But thank you for watching my video. This was a long one for those of you who watched it. What are some of your favorites? I know some of this stuff you've seen before, but there's definitely a lot of new stuff, new designs, etc. Let me know down below. Till we meet again, folks. Peace.